And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut. It's Chris Burns. It's Chris Lynch. This is Dysfunction Junction.
First of all, hope everybody had a safe and happy Independence Day, the birth of the greatest nation on earth, the celebration of such, and if you don't like it, get the fuck out. That's all I've got to say about that. But after 2 weeks without me and 1 week without the three-headed monster, we are glad to be back. This is the part where you kick your feet up, grab your beverage, smack your wife, and say, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah, you do.
Fuck yeah, except for the
That's what I like to hear. My name is Chris Burns. With me, as always, Hunter Biden's favorite nasal cavity.
Ooh.
Chris Lynch.
And, of course, the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, and basically the king of barbecue no matter where you go. It's Big Herm Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up, everybody out there listening and watching?
How did everybody enjoy their week off?
It was nice. It was very nice.
Been good.
I thought so. We needed a little break. You always got to have a little break.
Yeah, 4th of
A
July
Tuesday
was
holiday.
Uneventful.
Well, it rained here, so of course everything was uneventful. You know, because you enjoyed the rain just as much as I did.
Yeah, what day of that week did it not rain, basically?
Friday. That's it.
That's about it.
Just Friday. But you know what? That's why we're here, because rain, shine, sleet, snow, we come for your children, just like the trannies are coming for your children.
Oh!
Lots of stuff going on this week, but Lynch, you had something you wanted to do right off the top. So if you'd like to have that moment in the sun, please go right ahead.
Just want to give a little eulogy to my dear friend Jim Moulton, who passed away on the 7th. We were thinking of a very critical heart attack. He died doing what he loved. He was unloading a truck for a gig and collapsed. One of his clients had posted on Facebook, and we reached out and connected, and he did confirm that Jim had passed away on the evening of the 7th. Great guy. We grew up together from age like 5, all through pre-K, kindergarten, all the way to graduation. We're always in the same homeroom class. You know, L, last name M. They always had to separate us because we were keep making each other try to laugh or do some stupid fucking shenanigans together.
Gee, that sounds familiar in school, right, Herm?
Oh, sounds quite familiar. Yes.
But yeah, a very big loss to the music community in the Northeast. He was a pretty renowned sound engineer. Had his own company, Molten Sound, for a number of years. One of the most honest people you'd ever want to meet. And he would tell people straight up, you sounded like shit, and this is why. And people respected him for that, because he gave an unfiltered, honest opinion of your live performance or whatever it will happen to be that he was mixing your sound for. And I've gotten that feedback from a lot of people that I've known him and the bands he did sound work for, or DJs, whatever. Great guy, give you the shirt off his back. One of the naturally funniest motherfuckers on the planet. Which, like I said, we had to be separated on numerous occasions in school because we just would not shut up. We were either talking about music, comedy, or just talking to talk, and it got us in trouble. But rest in peace, Jim. You're going to be missed. Ironically, we had just been talking about getting together for a dinner in the next couple weeks and reconnecting again. I had seen him a couple years ago. I ran into him here and there, but we always, we never were in the same room at the same time, but we always met passing by, and we always chatted on Facebook through Messenger.
I can still help you, reconnect.
Well, yeah. Well, I got 2 of those options downstairs.
I mean, if you really want to talk to him bad right now.
Not so much.
His name is Chris Lynch, not Bud Dwyer.
Hey, man, nice shot.
Hey, yo, I'm here to help, man. I'm just here to help.
He's a helper. And at Herm, he's a helper. That's what I'm going to say at your eulogy. He was a helper.
He was a helper.
He was a helper.
Not me. I got other things I'm gonna say at his eulogy.
But anyway, Jim Moulton, 51 years old. Rest in peace. I'll miss you, bud. You were a very good dude, and that's it, man. It's just a sad day. I happened to be looking through up here today before you got here, Chris, and I know I had a box of photographs from high school and junior high, and I found at least our yearbook, that one of our yearbooks, and there was in every yearbook there was at least one picture of us together, but I couldn't find those photographs. And it's funny is that I had thrown out more photographs than I kept, and as time goes on, I kick myself in the ass for doing that, because there's some of those people have a lot of my graduating classes died.
Jesus.
And that 1990. This is like 6 or 7, 8 maybe in the last decade or so, and it makes you think back. You know, I was never in a lot of pictures, and when the ones I was in, I kept a majority of them, but there was a few that I threw away just because of time, age, wear. You could barely tell there was a human in the photo. But now more than ever, it's just kind of like, fuck, I never should have got rid of that.
Makes me wonder what they put in the water at Robert E. Fitch High School.
I'm telling you, man. A couple of the deaths happened right after graduation, and for the last couple of years, it's been trickling down. 8, 9 years ago, we lost another good friend of mine, Greg. He was in a very bad place and took his own life. But yeah, it's weird. It really makes you think. Fuck that. I mean, like, we were the same age. Shit, could that be to me tomorrow? Fuck if I know.
I prefer it didn't.
I hope not.
Yeah.
You know, but it just goes to show folks that you never know when your number's up.
That's it. And I was very astonished. I shouldn't say astonished. I was pleasantly surprised, I'll say, after you had passed that news on to us, to look at a lot of the local acts I follow, and some that aren't together anymore who Jim happened to work with over the years, you know, putting out their condolences. One of them coming from the current guitarist for Vixen, Britt Lightning, who played in Jaded for years and years in this area, and Chick Six. And she knew Jim. And to see her, you know, put her, you know, 2 cents outward and say, you know, hey, Jim was a really good guy. He was very helpful, yada, yada, yada. You know, it goes to show, if you don't think that what you do has reach and has influence, it really does, especially this guy, who I never got the pleasure of meeting him, but I learned from listening to Lynch and Brittany and all these other people. The folks in, what was the other local band that said something? Was it Wicked Peach? Who are no longer together, but they still have quite the following.
Yeah,
and put something out there.
He had worked with them for several years, back when they were still at Stash's all the time.
Yeah.
That's where I used to run into him constantly, with Stash's Cafe, when it was still a thing.
Before it became just a rubble.
Yeah,
that building's the building's
still standing,
up.
right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Ever since the Riverview restaurant closed down, it's just been let go to shit.
Yeah, I think Stash kicks himself in his ass every time he thinks about getting rid of that place.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, because he could still be making money hand over fist. That place was the bomb.
Yeah, I love going there.
So do we want to start out light, or do we want Herm? We want to put the quarter in the machine and let Herm go apeshit to start the show? I'm putting the vote out.
I say we go light to crescendo.
Ramp it up. All right.
Ramp it up. Yeah, I say we start.
All right.
I'll speak musically, since we're talking about Jim. We'll start mezzo piano up to grandissimo.
Ooh.
Yeah,
all right.
We'll let it. It's like a volcano. We'll let it build.
Well, I got a list of topics that we all talked about right here, and let's start with something you guys talked about. How about the aftermath of Titan, and how soft-handed children of privilege are acting like they went fishing with these 5 rich assholes a week ago? How dare you put pictures up? How dare you make jokes? 5 people died. Let me remind some of you out there that are those soft-handed children of privilege that will never listen to this show because you hate the truth. These are people that have wished death on anybody who disagrees with them over the last few years. You're listed. You're labeled as a racist or a phobe or what have you if you don't blindly agree with them. And oh, by the way, for 4 years, you wish death on the sitting president of the United States. But we make fun of 5 dudes who get in a tin can and try to go find the wreckage of the Titanic. Which, by the way, guys, they already found it. Why are you going down there? You're not setting any world records. You're not curing cancer.
No,
You got into a vessel that was unfit to go as deep as it did. The thing imploded. By the way, props to that subway with the sign that says "Our subs don't implode."
that's right.
Oh, they got in a lot of trouble for that.
It's all right.
Who
Got in
cares?
a lot of trouble. I really could give a shit one way or another.
Can we be completely honest? I mean, we generally are.
That's
but-
our thing.
How? We joke. We do. It's our coping mechanism. Some people, you joke about celebrity death. God knows we've done it enough over the years.
Oh yeah.
This was like you guys said on the show. By the way, loved the show that you guys did. Watched
you.
it the next day.
Thank you.
5 rich people doing rich people things. Kind of like the idiot some years ago, Mad Mike, who wanted to prove the Earth was flat and built himself a rocket. It went up about, I don't know, 7,000 feet. Engine sputtered, splat. The Earth's not flat, but Mad Mike is. And as long as we're on the flat Earth subject, how about the idiot? And I'm sure he was a nice guy. People loved him. His wife and kids loved him. Doesn't make him less of an idiot. Who bought a $20,000 ring laser gyroscope to prove that the Earth is flat and stationary and proved the 15-degree-per-hour drift of the Earth. Thanks, Bob, wherever you are. I'm not going to pretend he's in heaven or hell, depending on what you believe in, but you did this to yourself. You know? Bob proved what he was trying to disprove all along. Mad Mike, well, let's leave Mad Mike on the ground where they pick him up with a spatula.
He proved gravity still works.
Basically, yes, disproving flat Earth entirely. And now this. We're going to build this spaceship. We're going to build this submarine out of Coke cans and old trash barrels. And we're going to go to the most pressurized part of the ocean, the floor. And we're going to look at Titanic wreckage. You morons. And
If
people
I wanna-
are... Go ahead, please.
If I want to see it, I'll throw on James Cameron's documentary that he did, however many years ago, that when he first went down. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's actually pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's about as much of a view as I ever would want to have of it. As Mike and I said in our episode about that, they only did it because they could. There was no real reason.
Go to the aquarium. Done.
Well, exactly. I mean, Megan, speaking of crazy shit, Megan sent me this thing about a circus that's coming to Waterford. I said, if I want to watch animal abuse, I'll just throw in a YouTube video of baby seals getting clubbed. No thanks.
There you go.
But, I mean, why purposefully get into something that is pretty much a tin can? And bye, nice knowing you. Arrivederci. Have a good time.
I don't deny the fact that these people had families, and there's people that are going to mourn their loss. But you act like somebody, like your next door neighbor, who has been giving you cookies on the regular for 30 years, walked out to get the mail and dropped over dead. That's a tragedy. This is rich people doing rich people things, and they paid the price. Everything has a risk and a reward. Now, had they made it back in one piece, that's the reward. They didn't. That's the risk. But the soft society, how many days, and I'll say days because I'm trying to be nice, did it take for us in the 8th or 9th grade, depending on what year it was? I don't know. I'm sorry. I was in 8th grade. Did it take for us to make Space Shuttle Challenger jokes?
Weren't we cracking Sally Ride jokes about her eye blew in one way and blew the other way the next day?
It was Krista McAuliffe, and it was probably around the next day, yeah.
Same thing. I got the name wrong, but yeah, wasn't it pretty much the next day that we were, what color were her eyes? Blue, one blue left and one blue right.
Mm-hmm. What was the last thing to go through Krista McAuliffe's mind? The control panel?
The control panel.
Oh, that too, yeah, wow. That's a good one. Her asshole.
Yeah, but they They filed us all into school. They filed us all into the big classroom and loaded us all up, primed the TV in, and let's watch. And everybody watched in fucking horror. Yeah, and then we went back to
Something
class,
ain't right.
and then we went to lunch. Like it was just the normal thing.
Yeah, they sent us home at Kelly Junior High School. I that's their decision, wasn't mine. I was like, I didn't die. Can
Yeah,
I go
no,
to
and
math now?
Ledger was like, "Oh, everybody back to class." So I went back to math class.
That's because a cow didn't blow up.
It's just, yeah, it's like,
I was in 8th grade English class, and I remember my teacher, Mr. Tony Purcell, was a big deal, teacher going into space. So he grabbed the AV cart, wheeled it in there, we turned it on, and we're all
oh
looking.
yeah, oh yeah.
And he knew something was wrong.
The seventh grade teacher wheeled it in. They packed us all from the cluster into the fucking science lab. Watched it. We sat there and kaboom.
Yeah.
Yeah, my teacher knew something was up. She's like,
There's a difference.
This doesn't look
Go ahead,
right.
Please.
This
Yeah, right.
doesn't look right. One thing's going this way, one thing's going that way.
I'm gonna tell you a big difference between our generation and the one that we're dealing with now
Jarts.
is that, we watched, I mentioned his name before the broadcast, Bud Dwyer. Oh no, I mentioned it here on the broadcast, Bud Dwyer.
Yeah.
We watched Bud Dwyer blow his fucking head off live on TV. We saw Gary Plauché blow Jeff Doucette's head away when they brought him back from California to Louisiana, and they played that shit on the news. We watched the Challenger blow up in front of our face,
On a
and
loop.
we went
On a loop.
for days.
On a loop for days.
You know what? If they had shown the Titan go down and implode, you'd have 300 kids, no word of a lie, in some sort of grief counseling because they've been raised to
you'd
be
have more than that.
fucking
You'd have
pussies.
more than that.
I'm just talking about in that one school.
Oh yeah. You'd have 300 kids huddled in a fucking corner. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
And here's my favorite part. And you know how it's going to happen because I heard somebody say this, a younger person. I want to say they were about, 30 something. Yeah, I said 30 is a younger person.
Well.
I said, you ever seen the movie Black Hawk Down? No, I watched that happen live on TV because, CNN was putting everything the war effort did on TV
Right.
between 90 and 95. I don't want to live through that again. It gave me PTSD. I'm like, bitch, please. How do you think the guys on that copter felt? You had PTSD from watching television. You are sick. You are weak, and you need assistance more than anybody else.
Yeah, you need more than you need something.
And I can attest to that type. I can attest to that type of mentality because I work with kids. I'll say in their 20s. That what my job is. That stresses them out. Like that, my job stresses people out. And we have this new employee, a groomer, there, and she's like, "Are you the only one who doesn't like freak out about stuff?" I'm like, "It's because of my age. I'm used to."
Well, not only that, you were taught to cope.
I'm used to dealing with pressure and stress. Yeah, I have anxiety. I have things fucked up with me, but I don't let it boil over into fucking work. If you can't handle a little bit of a couple phone calls here and there, they can't multitask.
The first 10 years of our childhood, and further than that, but let's just go that first 10 years. Think of what happened from 72 to 83. Think about what some of the crazy shit that happened. And then
Ronald Reagan getting shot. The Pope getting shot.
Twice. John Lennon. We watched all this on TV. This was normal shit.
All right, I broke my leg in 1985. I broke mine. 1986. Sorry. And I spent my entire summer on the couch with a big ass cast on my leg. Do you know what my entertainment was, with the exception of, say, Price is Right, which is destination viewing? The Iran Contra hearings.
Yes.
Ali knows.
I was glued.
Yeah.
And I was fucking 13, 14 years old. I was glued. If I asked a kid 13, 14 years old today, hey, sit down and watch the trial of, I don't know, who's the big one in the last couple of years? Casey Anthony. Like, oh, why? I'm going to watch TikTok. Like, Go fuck yourself. And then you want to go into the world and ask for a 6-figure salary out the cuff. Fuck you. And fuck your fake PTSD and fuck your weak feelings. Fuck you. And if you don't like the fact that we're picking on the dearly departed soul, we're not picking on the dearly departed souls. We're picking on their stupidity for getting in a tin can, but we're picking on the vessel more than anything.
Well, I can kind of see where some people are coming from. And like you said, they have families. They have families.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's the only people I have sympathy for are the people they left behind.
Sure.
I don't have sympathy for somebody who willingly steps into a propane.
All of their English teachers, because obviously they didn't comprehend the words that when they read uncertified, dangerous as fuck thing, sign here.
I have no sympathy for somebody who gets into a propane tank and dives to the bottom of the ocean.
Come on.
I'm sorry. Do you think I have sympathy for the person who gets behind the wheel of a car and willingly, either under substance of drugs or alcohol, and willingly gets killed? No, I have zero sympathy for him.
Absolutely not.
He made the choice to do that in an altered state. I have sympathy for the family because he may leave behind a kid or a wife or whatever, people who loved him.
Yes.
But I have no sympathy for the people who willingly participate in stupidity.
And that's part of the risk and reward factor, Lynch, is that if you do something risky and you succeed, you're a hero. If you do something risky and you fail, you're just another dude that failed. No offense. You know, I don't know if this vessel had ever gone. I know it's never gone down that deep, and it'll never will again because it's just going to sit there rotting on the bottom of the ocean.
It had successful journeys,
but to that depth.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They've gone down to the Titanic wreckage before.
At least a dozen times.
In that vessel.
Vessel.
Okay.
Yeah, they just went to the well one too many times.
It's like watching Evel Knievel when we were kids.
Ooh,
if he makes the jump, oh my God, you're talking about it for weeks. If he doesn't make the jump, you're talking about it for years. And like Herm just kind of threw out there, the Snake River. How many bones did he break?
All of them. Every fucking one of them.
Twice. Stupid people doing stupid things do not deserve my sympathy. Their family certainly will, like Lynch has already said. But for the rest of us, you are fodder. That's all you are. You're going to be in our jokes for years to come.
It's like being surprised that Steve O or Johnny Knoxville got hurt stapling their nut sacks to each other.
Let's put a scorpion in my butthole.
Yeah, and end up in the hospital for one reason or another. Johnny Knoxville can't piss right because of the shit that he's done to his penis. Mm-hmm. Okay? He barely has a functioning unit. Steve O is just a big pile of meat in a skin sack. There's not much left of that guy.
But he's got he's got nice new teeth though.
He does. That's what money will buy you. The nicest veneers on the planet. But I'm not surprised they're like that. They love that risk.
And with it comes the reward. By stapling their nutsacks to each other, or super gluing the midget to the fat guy, or running down a hallway full of tasers. Yeah, set to kill. That was my favorite. Are you gonna die?
Please don't die.
No.
Please don't die. That was my favorite bit to this day, Electric Avenue, where they ran down the hall naked with all the tasers swinging.
Yeah, that was
my Lord. But the risk has consequence. You got shocked to shit, but the reward was the movie and the show did bomb-ass numbers, and you're set for life. Maybe you can't walk right, maybe you can't piss right, but the risk was certainly outweighed by the reward.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you, the person doing it, feels the reward was outweighed the risk, then I guess you're fine. But
sure. The rest of us watch that and cringe, but it is what it is. It's just unbelievable the amount of soft people out there that just look and go, how dare you make jokes? They didn't have a choice. Yes, they did. They got onto this vessel. It wasn't vetted. Yeah, maybe it made a couple trips or two, but that's probably
Yeah,
what
but
wore
even
it
yeah, but
down.
even
Yeah,
then, like they were doing a 4,000 foot test or 4,000 meter test or some test like that, and the owner of the company cut the test off just above 3,000. I don't know what the measurement was, meter or foot or whatever or yard. I don't know, whale dicks, but whatever the measurement was, 3,000 whale dicks. That's pretty fucking long. That's pretty deep. Um,
I got a dick story for you in a minute.
but ooh, but yeah, whatever it was, they canceled the test like early. I don't know. I mean, I'm I don't really see any civil action coming from this because that they've signed the waiver, But
Yep.
Yeah, they
I,
they
I
signed
I
all
would
that for
like
away.
I don't I think there should be some sort of why was this allowed to happen? Why were we allowed to take people's money and sell this to people with it being unsafe? I guess is where we're going. And why was I can't I have to have the government oversight on every other fucking thing on the planet, but shoving people in a fucking propane tank and sending them down 5,000 feet. There, we can do that as long as the guy says it's cool. I don't know,
It's
man.
unfucking believable.
I think we're
You
missing
know,
some shit on shit that needs to be watched, and the shit they're watching don't need to be either. So
look, if it was just the guy that started the company, no big deal. You took a risk. The company is, your ultimate reward, and you failed. No big deal. You took other people with you. I mean, who was running this thing? Hank Hill? Yep, I put this thing together myself, and we put together the best propane tank you'll ever see. I'll tell you what.
Bang
propane,
on,
propane accessories.
I know
bang on.
Titanic's
You know what
about
I'm saying? Bang on.
Thank you, Boom. Thank you,
Nice.
Boomhauer. I
You all right?
understand it. Titanic's about 2.5 miles under the sea. That's about 12,000 some odd feet, and if you want to take that into fathoms, that's about 2,000 fathoms under the sea. I think we can make this trip. Get in the propane tank.
Boom.
Fucking retards.
There is a YouTube channel. I wish I should have bookmarked it. That got their hands on what they believe to be the transcript from surface to ship, and he did the calculations based upon uh, tr- how long it should have taken them to get to where they were before they imploded. They
Hmm.
were going down way too fast.
Oh, of course. Then that's gonna double the pressure because of your movement. Then when you stop, the pressure. Oh,
Well, yeah.
He said
Instead of slowly increasing the pressure, you increase it fast. So instead of slowly squeezing the can,
it's.
you just
yeah.
He said they were going about uh, not twice the speed, but maybe some like 45% too fast, based upon the math, because they lost
Jesus.
yeah.
they
So if they're
lost
supposed to drop 2 feet a minute, they're dropping three.
right. So left they left the surface ship, I think, at 8 a.m. and they lost contact at 9:45. Where they were at 9:40, they were way too deep in that time frame. They should have been further up, still up from the surface. Um,
Yeah, because the whole point with the oxygen on that, it was 3 hours to get down. It was like an hour of rolling or
of
rolling
exploring,
of exploring, and then and then three to come up
right?
with like a 2 hour buffer
So, so what this
needed
guy thinks is that he pushed the envelope to get down there faster, to
to
have
give
more
them more
exploration time,
give more exploration time.
and the consequences being a catastrophic failure of the pressures. I brought this up, Chris. I don't remember if you got the details that I had said in the episode about this. They say that the three different materials used in that vessel should never have been used together
Oh
at
yeah.
all. The plexi with this and that, and because they all have different pressure points as to when a catastrophic failure could happen. Um, Usually, when you're doing something like that, the materials, if you have more than one material, they have a commonality, and that commonality is where it's going to be critical.
Hmm.
These were three different critical points. So that mixed with the fact that they were going down too fast is probably why they imploded when they did. And the guy says the math checks out. They lost contact. 9:44, and they heard nothing after that. And he said that makes sense, but per the rate of descent times the depth they were at, he said they vaporized it about an hour and 35 minutes in, and he said it was instantaneous.
Oh yeah, this wasn't going to be a slow burn. This wasn't going to be like if you were on a submarine that sprung a leak and you have all that tempered Kevlar covered steel, and it's going to be a slow burn. You are just waiting to die at that point. These folks they didn't even get oh shit out of their mouth. Hey, done.
Yeah, I mean, even submarines are set up to the point where they start to leak, and they actually make tape to fix that. So, I mean,
EB Green.
These dudes probably would have been better off if they'd have got some rolls of EB Green wrapped around that motherfucking propane tank, bro. I'm just saying.
EB Green and spit.
Yeah, that's it.
Christ. EB Green, they'd still be floating around.
Hell yeah.
Well, you see how fast that dropped out of the news cycle.
Of course.
It was the weekend. It was a couple days prior, that weekend, and then by within a week it was out. It was gone.
Unless you're sick bastards like me who are sending out memes with the Xbox thing at the bottom saying your controller is no longer connected.
For real,
I'd like to talk to you about your extended warranty.
I mean, let's be honest, man. Everybody coming down on Logitech. Look, Logitech didn't go to them and be like, "Yo, my man, use our controller to run your fucked up shit." No, nobody did it. It's a good controller. It's Logitech. You're out somewhere. You got a game. You want to play it. Your shit's broken. You just pick up a crappy $20-$30 fucking controller.
That's why they should have used the Xbox controller.
The regular Xbox one.
That's right. They use the Xbox.
Costs a little more, but it's worth it.
But it's worth it.
What is it going to take me? What's it going to take me to put you into an Xbox controller?
No, it's like literally.
What do I have to do?
I got to be honest. I was a little pissed that Xbox didn't go the Wendy's route and throw some shit out about their controllers last lifetime. I got to be honest. And has anybody seen the Wendy's social media site lately?
I have
Do
not.
you guys follow their Wendy's Facebook?
Do you know why I follow Wendy's so hard right now?
They're fucking insane.
They are, because Iron Sheik is no longer on fucking Twitter. I follow Wendy's.
Yeah, it's like
Uh-oh.
Do we have it?
I don't know. You're the producer. But I heard barking. You know what that means.
I did.
All right, Herm's trying to find it. We got to get this to you guys. Oh, the Symphony of Disparction. God, I missed you guys. Woo.
All right, I'm following. I just picked up the Wendy's page.
It's not for the weak at heart.
Oh, it's worth it. Whoever's running that should be CEO tomorrow.
Tomorrow, like I'm pretty sure, like whoever's running that social media account does like 3 grams.
This can't be fucking real.
No,
this cannot be real. No.
Dude, I swear to God, somebody does like 3 grams of pure virgin fucking white first thing in the morning, and this is what happens.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Lynch, read the first one you saw.
All right. 10 peace be with yous. Looking for sewing thread. This new website is awful, though. THO. Rest in pieces to Purple Milkshake victims. Sorry for lose. Couldn't be me. Are the life insurance pamphlets in the upstairs drawer? I would like an administrator to contact me regarding the false post that was approved and mention of Bob's Big Boy Tires and Barn.
There was one a couple of days. There was like a baby doll, and it was bad.
Bob got a sausage, egg, and cheese engraved on my medical alert bracelet. Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I almost feels like there's like a 63-year-old grandmother doing all of the Wendy's media shit.
She's getting all her shit out that she has kept hidden inside her for years
like
and
she's
years.
talking, like she's using voice to text, and like and then I'm thinking, are those things still up? And somebody's in the background, are the life support insurance things still up in the counter? And it's just printing. It's just fucking insane.
All right. Let's go to our next topic, if we should. Who left the booger sugar in the West Wing?
I don't
You guys
know.
are not up to date out there.
No.
The Secret Service found cocaine in the White House. And to watch Karen Jean-Pierre, the dumbest press secretary on earth, try to swing her way around this when they're asking about Hunter. Oh, well, they haven't been here. They left on Thursday, and they've been gone Thursday, Friday. Nobody asked when they were there. He's been there in the last week. I'm not saying it's Hunter's. I'm not. I'm not going to do that because I don't want feds busting down my door this evening, beating my ass. Fuck you say about Hunter Biden. I'm saying that he was there, and then they eventually found it. Could it be somebody that came through on a tour and dropped their little baggie of booger sugar? It could be. Is it possible that someone working in the White House, gets a little sniffy sniff going on? Maybe. Is it possible that the derelict son of the President of the United States, who was just there 4 days before the first family went to Camp David, left his candy surprise behind? It could be, but nobody wants to acknowledge the elephant in the room. For the first time ever, cocaine is found in the White House. And if this had been anybody other than Joe Biden as president, this would have hit the fan harder than it has been.
I'm going to throw a caveat in there, Chris.
Please do.
The first time it's been reported.
Okay, fair.
Because you know as well as I do that our media goes above and beyond and out of their way to push anything with the last name Biden through the byline and get it out there.
They also hide a lot of shit.
It goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you from the time, I'll say, post-Reagan till now, there's been instances of pot, marijuana, weapons, like little blackjack
Clinton
knives.
smoked a joint with Willie Nelson on the roof, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
But it was cool because it was Slick Willie.
But we're not talking about the devil's lettuce. We're talking about pure Colombian Bam Bam.
I don't know. I don't think, I got to be honest. I don't think that Biden would be carrying baggies around.
I don't think he knows what a baggie is at this point.
No.
He's going big.
I'm saying Hunter. I don't think Hunter's an experienced cocaine user.
He's got a fucking briefcase full of that shit. He doesn't deal with baggies.
No. But as a person that grew up in a generation where all those drugs were bad, and like pot was evil and bad, we became real good at social camouflage for things. I can remember walking around with what we used to buy at the head shop, and they would be billed as a little salt and pepper shaker. And it was for camping. You felt it was salt, and then when you needed a little salt, you just filled it up and sprinkled it on your food. But we also kept Coke in that because we weren't walking around with fucking baggies that it looked like we were doing drugs. We wanted something that looked so nonchalant that honestly, I think Hunter Biden's a little more discreet and has a little more hiding it. Unless he was blown out of his fucking mind, and we know that he usually does that with a computer and hookers. So
see, you hit my spot right
there.
So
there's no computer and hookers in the room. So I'm gonna go with probably not Hunter Biden.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna remember probably somebody on a fucking tour.
I remember the little necklaces, and sometimes they were shaped like a sword. Other times they were shaped like a crystal, and you screw the top off. Yeah, or a snake, and you screw the top off, the little spoon's there, you get a little happy, you put it back on, you move along with your day. Nobody's the wiser. You know why? Because it just looked like a cool fucking necklace. And they're dude,
that's the same thing with a salt pepper shaker. It just looked like something cool on your keychain. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was Colombian, great shit.
Peruvian marching powder.
Yes, Peruvian marching powder.
You got any houses you need built? I'll build 5.
Look, I'm not gonna
build that addition.
I'm not gonna sit here and say it was 1000% hunters. Will not. Is it too much of a coincidence that the geriatric doddering old fool that is the figurehead of our country, who has a son who's a cracked out jackass, was there 4 days before they found it? Coincidences are a little too heavy, but I'm not going to say definitely it was or wasn't. Go ahead, Lynch, please.
I wouldn't put it past one of his friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're not as savvy as Hunter.
Arkham's Razor, but that room is kind of isn't really used like for business. It's used for
tours.
It's like a coat room or something stupid.
Yeah.
It's not even a real fucking room to do anything in.
Yeah.
Arkham's Razor would dictate that more than likely, given the fact that that room is used and walked through on tours, and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people a day going through there. The fact that they're looking for explosives, they're looking for weapons, they're not looking for drugs. This is the problem with the security. The security is focused on weapons and things that can hurt people. They're not looking for drugs. So I'll bet there's been more coke through that room than we know, and somebody probably just dropped their shit on the tour.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Now, is it completely possible it could be hunters? Absolutely. And I think it's wrong for any Democrat to go, no. Oh, of course it is. It's possible. It's possible. But, again, probably not. But let's just admit it's possible. But we don't believe, we do. But Secret Service is pretty sure that it's not. We've pretty much ruled him out. So that's all that really takes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're not looking for drugs. Kind of like TSA, they're looking for weapons. They're not looking for the pot I carried back and forth across the country 2-3 times. Arrest me, bitch.
Now, we're going to kind of turn back the clock just a bit when we talked about the implosion of the Titan, and people are losing their minds over the jokes. I've heard more jokes in the last 2-3 days about this, and it comes from a lot of people that sit on that kinder, gentler bullshit side, and I'll tell you about a few others that I heard too. Disgraced and jailed Olympic coach Larry Nassar was stabbed several times in prison the other day. Condition unknown. This is a guy who diddled, young up-and-coming athletes, female athletes, including Michaela Maroney and Simone Biles, got his day in court, sentence, pedophile, go to jail, fuck you. I'm surprised it took him this long to get stabbed. People are making jokes about this, and nobody seems to mind. I agree partially because he is a pedophile, and I believe pedophiles should be drug out back and shot. However, I'm not the justice system.
The target's a target. I'm good. So yeah.
Right. I think, to be honest, let's be honest. A pedophile who diddled upwards of 50 young girls underage is a lot worse than 5 assholes getting into a propane tank and going to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, and in my opinion is they didn't stab him enough.
Exactly. They should have Whitey Bulgered him and cut out his tongue and shoved it in his asshole.
I mean, because that guy is just I'm surprised it took this long.
So am I.
I honestly am, because that's one thing. You can be a murderer. You can be an arsonist. It comes to little kids. Your ass is toast in prison.
Not only that, little kids, and I say little kids with a grain of salt because my daughter's 15, and these girls came up when they were 13, 14, 15 as gymnasts and whatnot, so we'll call them young ladies.
You're still a
children.
Little kid.
Yeah, they're still children. And you are a trusted physician to help them with their aches and pains and muscle pulls and this and that and the other thing is like, oh, you got a strained calf? Come over here, lay on the table. Let me work out that calf. And by the way, I'm going to stick my finger in your cooter. No!
Yeah,
and then you're told to be quiet. And that's the thing that pisses me off the most, especially with some of these crazy, and I'm saying it now, far left crazies who think there are 37 genders, who think that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. Minor attracted people. Fuck you.
Yeah, but that's such a small percentage of that population.
I don't care. They're
still
really small.
And there's a really, really teeny tiny microscopic portion, but my issue isn't with, it's not with those people that are that are that please do not take this wrong. The issue isn't with the people that are that way and trying to call themselves something else. That's normal. Somebody trying to relabel them. No. Listen to me.
That's
Somebody
normal.
trying to relabel themselves
I'm a
from
goat.
from a negative to a positive spin. I understand that's political correctness. The problem is, my issue is that if the people that touch kids while they should be shot want to try that maneuver, please go ahead, see how far that gets you. The problem is when the soft left people have to believe that it is inclusive, and I don't agree with what they do, but we shouldn't label them
In a
a
negative
negative
light.
way, and that's the problem. Those
Thank
people
you.
are the problem.
Thank you for
Those
saying
people,
that, because I was going to stab you the next time I saw you.
no. Like those, I feel those people are worse than the actual pedophiles themselves. Look, they are what they are. They're shit. They do what they do, and they wreck children's lives. Okay, but the people that are pushing for them to also be allowed for that don't agree with their shit. It's Hitler wasn't Hitler didn't. It's like relabeling what Hitler did as something to make it sound better and softer and less PTSD causing to the children when they hear it.
Well, yeah, there really is a different way to spin genocide. I mean,
Yeah,
Right,
right.
you know what I
you
mean? Like
you can't make
it
you
was devout nationalism.
you can't spin fascist
Right,
genocide into
right, and I
pretty
don't
language.
right, and I don't, and you can't do it with pedophilia.
No,
Exactly. Good, Lynch.
I mean, I think everybody should be. Here's my take. Everybody should have the same rights as everybody else. The minute you cross that line, all bets are off.
Correct.
Pedophilia, you've crossed that line. You have zero rights. You have zero rights because
Yeah, so you're
you've
just
broken
you're now an enemy of society.
Mm-hmm.
because and you can never be trusted again in society to be safe. You're never safe in society again. Um, I don't understand what the left is thinking when they want to say that it's okay to be a minor attracted person.
A pedophile.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
okay. It is okay,
it
and I'll
is
tell you
okay
what.
if you
You
don't
want to know
act on it.
no, you want to know what the no, you know what it is, but you know what? There's only one group of people that it's okay to be a minor attracted person. That would be.
Minors,
I was just bingo. I was going to
another
say
Another
minor.
minor.
another minor. So another 16-year-old or another 14-year-old. Bingo. There it is. There's the pool you're allowed to play in, buddy. If you're not in that pool, you go to the adult pool.
Thank you for coming to the Herm Talk.
Yeah. This
I ain't
concludes
gonna
my
lie.
TED
Look,
talk.
I ain't gonna lie to you. As the father of a daughter, whenever I see stories like that
Correct.
about a doctor, and you know, pedophiles come in all shapes and sizes. They come from all walks of life. I don't want to pigeonhole anybody, but if you're a trusted person, a doctor, a teacher, unfortunately, I have to point at certain, and I'm not. Please do not jump on this. We have a lot of people who watch this show that are good friends of ours that practice different religions, but religious people. Let's go with police officers
Yeah,
do it.
right. It's not the religion. It's the use of what is
The
perceived power.
trust. You're
It's the
using
use
the
of
trust and the
the
power.
perceived power and trust to do that. Absolutely.
There was a cop in Norwich years ago. I don't want to say his name. I don't, and I'm not going to, because, you know, that's his gimmick and whatnot. It was a consensual relationship, but he was 26 and she was 16, and
Yeah, I
no,
remember
that will
case.
cost you your fucking job.
Yes.
You know, if the young lady was 18, I have this theory in my head. If you're old enough to vote, you're old enough to go to war and die for your country, you're old enough to, you know, make decisions that some would look at and go, well, not the best decision, but you're still legal to make them. 18. Not 7, not 5, not 11, not 15.
Connecticut, that's not even the case. In Connecticut, there's the 3-year rule.
Yeah.
Up
Until you're 18.
until well, no. In Connecticut, there is no the 3-year rule is starts at 18. If you cannot be, first of all, if anybody's over 8 or is 18 or over and somebody else isn't, it's statutory. It is also statutory in Connecticut, and you can look it up. If the 18-year-old is dating a 21-year-old, it can still happen until in Connecticut until the youngest member of the relationship is 21.
Okay.
The other person can be no more than 3 years their senior.
Okay,
And that
until
holds
21.
place till 21. So that allows 18-year-old girls to date some younger college guys. That, you know what I mean, which really opens it up, and it's all right, but it also keeps the 16-year-olds from dating college guys as well. So, but yeah, like I agree. Once you hit that age of 21, where you're allowed to mix alcohol, do whatever you want. Absolutely, whatever the law in your state is, absolutely.
Now,
But
Herm, I don't know when that law went into effect, but I'm sure there's a lot of sailors right now that are shaking in their boots down there
that
at the.
rule was actually in effect when we were in high school
Oh wow!
because Mr. Minikowski explained it to me, to
I love
us as a
Mr.
class.
Minikowski. What a
And
nice
he was
guy.
talking about rules. Great guy. Smoked like a chimney. Loved it. Always
Of
smelled
course
like
he
a
did.
cigarette. Great.
I smell
Great
like an
guy.
ashtray.
Ashtray and a fucking coffee. Loved him though. It was
Mhm.
great. It was my one of my buddy's dads. It was a great fucking class. But
So
he explained that whole process because it came up somewhere, and he explained all of it. So that was back in school, even back then. So they didn't push it where we were, but technically that was the rule. So you could, basically it was, gentlemen, just be careful because that's the rule.
Okay, real quick across the board. I'm sure we all know somebody who had a fling with a sailor while we were in high school. Come on now.
oh yeah,
We had this one girl in our
in my
graduating class.
my graduating class, she got knocked up.
Oh, we called the ones in our class in 1990. We called this one girl, won't say her name. That's not my place. The fisherman. Why? Because she was out catching squid every Friday night.
Down at Christopher's.
Damn right. If not
Or at
there,
the
at
club
the
on
old.
base.
September's.
What's the name of the club? It's now Wings and Pies. Lynch, help me out, or
Rotten
even
Apple.
Herm.
The old
The
Rotten Apple. Yeah.
It was the Golden
Which
Gate
was-
back then.
Which was the Golden Gate
Golden
Pizza.
Gate. It was right across from the base entrance.
That's
you
right.
You trip out of the main gate and land at the Golden Gate.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Cafe Del Mar.
Yeah, oh, the Del Mar. What great memories. Anyway, yeah, again, this guy, like Lynch said, Larry Nasser should have been stabbed a hell of a lot more than he was. Surprised it took this long, again. And again, if you have to temper it with, well, he's a minor attracted person, do me a favor, drink bleach.
So speaking of kid diddling, I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie. It's called The Sound of...
I'm not.
The Sound of
wait.
Freedom.
I'm
That
gonna wait to see how
segue, though.
this pans out.
That segue, though.
Well,
Christ. Talking about little kids, touching little children.
You know?
anyway,
While we're talking about having your finger in the cherry pie,
The Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel
I can't wait to see it.
has outgrossed some of the big hits right now.
Good.
But it's getting zero attention from the media.
No.
And what attention it is
fucking
getting,
surprise.
and what attention it is getting, is it's being compared to a QAnon adjacent propaganda.
Of course
For
it
those
is.
of you who don't know what QAnon is a conspiracy that high-ranking people in society, politicians, movie
Yes,
stars,
a theory.
a theory that high-ranking rich members of America, society, actors, politicians, etc., have a child trafficking ring going on, and they trade children for sex. Okay, a part of the theory has proven true with Jeffrey Epstein.
Who didn't
We
kill
have
himself?
we have, no he
He was
didn't kill
Clinton.
himself. There's actually a conspiracy theory that the one of the judges had him killed because they would
Using-
Jeffrey Epstein would have exposed if the Black Book was released, lawyers and judges that were dealing with that case would have been exposed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Which is not too far to me. I wouldn't doubt it.
The
But
fact that
anyway,
I get the QAnon thing, the satanic cabal that runs our government and this and that and the other. I've heard the story. Here's my problem, is that and this goes back to the same old argument that we seem to talk about a lot. Everybody wants to be inclusive and this and that and the other thing, and this is based on a true story. I think his name was what was it? Tim Holland.
I'm
Hit your
looking at
Google
it right
machine
now.
real quick. Tim
I
Ballard.
have it up already. Tim Ballard.
Okay.
I
So
have the
Jim
Google machine
Caviezel,
up.
Jim Caviezel plays Tim Ballard, and how Tim Ballard stopped some of these child sex rings. I read the book. It's fantastic. Cannot wait for the movie because it's out now. I'm going to have to find a theater somewhere in a non-liberal area to go see it. Hence, I won't get, no pun intended, lynched on the way out because I dared to see a conservative film. Look, not every film has to have two butt-fucking cowboys in it. Not every film has to have a quota of gay and lesbian this or transgender this. This is a film about a book about a man who did the right thing by children, and the way Rolling Stone talked about it, and the way you said, that was the article out of, I think it was the Washington Post, that said it was QAnon adjacent. Listen to these people. Why? Because it didn't have a green mermaid or a drag queen or something in it. This is a real fucking story.
Because it isn't a conservative. I mean, it isn't a liberal piece of trash that has the quotas like you just said. It's a true story about a man who sacrificed his life.
Yes.
To break up this ring of child trafficking. I mean, this shit is real. If people think that child trafficking is not real, I worked at the casino for 20 years. I saw it firsthand. I saw 17-year-old girls get marched into fucking hotel rooms and not to be seen again for a week.
Mm-hmm. If I remember,
we had to investigate that shit.
One of the passages of the book talked about him going undercover for a year, pretending to be a trafficker from America, goes down to Mexico and cozies up with the head trafficker in Mexico, and how many times he would go back to his hotel and just puke his guts out and say to him, I don't know if I can do this, but I have to keep going because these children, they matter. Mm-hmm. Saving these children matters.
It's like he Donnie Brasco'd himself, for Christ's sake.
Basically.
Seriously, he got so in depth and in the trenches on this that it completely changed who he was as a person. For the better, I think, because it was something that was near and dear to him. Fuck you if you think that this isn't a topic that's of great importance, because it doesn't have a green fucking superhero. I like my superhero just like the next guy, but you know what? This is a very serious topic, and shit goes on, and it's not QAnon conspiracy theory bullshit. Come on,
no, it's not.
You
and
fucking assholes.
To go to your superhero point
Stone.
before I. Thank you for that.
Before
I want to run on your superhero point for a second, and then I'll talk about Tim Ballard and that book and the movie. I can't wait to see it. I'm a big fan of Titans on HBO Max. I salivate when those seasons are coming. I can't wait. I hate that they split it 6 and 6. But I didn't have a problem with it. I was just like, why would they do this? And I get it. They turned Robin gay. Not the Dick Grayson Robin, not the Jason Todd Robin. It was the Tim Drake Robin. And I'm like, okay. Not only that, if you're going to do a superhero story, I always say, do it. Starfire, beautiful black woman. Oh, my God. Was it Deathstroke, originally Mexican? In one of the movies, he was black, but in Titans, they did him right. But they made the Tim Drake Robin a young African-American man. I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. And then they made him gay. I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. We're in 2023. You're playing the inclusion bit. I had less of a problem with that than I do with, the liberal media shitting all over the Sound of Freedom because they're not hitting the quotas and they believe it's some right-wing conspiracy. But this is a real fucking story. It would be like if we made, since we talked about it earlier, if we made a movie, the three of us, Dysfunction Junction Productions presents the story of the Challenger explosion. and we turned everybody on that space shuttle either trans or gay to meet a quota. We're not telling the story right.
Or of some other minority.
Exactly, some other protected class, which the only protection you should have is yourself. Nobody protects me. Why should anybody else be protected?
I say we make the whole cast Jewish and send them the fuck up.
There you go. Watch how fast the Anti-Defamation League would come after us.
Well, no, no. I'm just no, just make it Jewish.
Oi, Gewalt!
Just
the ship, she's verklempt.
That's what I'm saying. Can you the line? Like a complete.
We're moving fast like butter.
A complete Mel Brooks film. Done.
Moishi.
Mel Brooks
Moishi,
does the Challenger explosion.
Before
Moishi, Herbert, gather around.
If Blazing Saddles were played on TV today, the way the leftists would like it, the movie would last 17 seconds.
4.5 seconds. They'd show the picture in the beginning and then them riding off at the end. Done.
Yeah, basically. Completely missing the entire point of the film. All they see is the parody.
But the new sheriff's a nigger. That's the only thing they see. That's all they see. It's the word.
It's like I saw
the
today.
The new sheriff's a near?
It very much goes back to the Tim Ballard Sound of Freedom movie story. Somebody posted how white supremacy is on the rise. I'm like, nah, if you look at the numbers, and here's an article you should read about how the white supremacists have gone down in this country, but the people mongering the fear and saying that everything is racist has gone up in the last 45 years, you'll see that your dissertation is wrong. You want to know what happened? Not that it broke my heart. I was blocked. Oh. Worst part about it, it was a celebrity who I very much used to respect up through and including about 7 hours ago. Jim Cornette.
Really?
Yep. So fuck you, Jim Cornette. Yeah, I'm brokenhearted. What am I going to do? I mean, yeah, I just lost 5 hours of my week listening to your long-winded bullshit on your podcast. Hey, this podcast is supposed to be about classic wrestling. No, let's talk about how much I hate Trump for an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm not going to miss that. Bye, Jimmy.
True.
See you later. Everybody out there listening to us, go see Sound of Freedom. I don't care if you're a leftist, if you're a rightist, if you're liberal, if you're conservative. This is a true story. What's the Sound of Freedom?
It's in theaters. It's in theaters right now.
All right.
When I get back from my vacation, that is what I have on my list to do, is to go see that movie.
It actually beat out The Flash this past weekend.
Yeah, and it beat Indiana Jones in its first day.
Which I hear is a fucking terrible movie.
You shut your poor mouth when fucking talking about Harrison Ford movies.
We're not talking about Harrison Ford. That movie, from what I hear, I know 3 people that saw it, 4 now, including Lynch. Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay, so I know 3 people. 2 said it sucked, and 1 said, it was alright.
I've watched 4 reviews online about it, and not one of them has said anything good. The female lead in the movie completely ruins it for the movie. She is the left voice in the movie. Let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
They said she's more annoying than Kate Capshaw screaming her head off for 2 hours in the second movie, Temple of Doom.
Oh dear.
She is a ham-fisted actress. Completely takes you out of the movie. And Harrison Ford portrays Indiana Jones as just this tired old lazy fuck. Not the hero. They're trying to set her up to be the next Indiana Jones.
Of course they are. Because heaven forbid we take a character that has legs like Indiana Jones or James Bond or whatever and stick to the formula that, I don't know, has worked. No, let's woke it up. Fuck you.
I want to see Idris Elba as the next James Bond. I think he'd be a fucking kick-ass James Bond.
I do too. That would not suck.
I love him.
The problem is, he said he would. I don't think he'll get it, but I would totally vote for him over whatever that
any
chick
other
is doing.
Any other guy, though, Idris Elba, hands down. Please make him the next.
They want to
James
do
Bond.
What's her name there? The one that was a chick and now she's a dude.
Elliot
She was-
Oh
Page.
hell no,
Yeah.
no! It's Ellen Page. That's a woman with a vagina pretending to be a man. Do not play the game. It's Ellen Page.
It's that with that one. That's the one.
Yeah, no thanks.
Speaking of women and men, not women that used to be men and not women that diddle men. I'm gonna hold up a
Pretend to be
sign and
men.
we're putting our 50 cents
Wait, there's
into.
women that
we're not-
diddle men.
Yes.
Shut up.
Where do I find it?
That happens too. I'm gonna hold up a sign, and it's not gonna say "fuck your picks." We're putting 50 cents into the Herm machine, and we're gonna let him go. Are you ready, Herm?
Jonah Hill.
I
All right.
stand with Jonah Hill.
I stand with Jonah Hill.
I
In the
stand with
media
Jonah Hill.
lately, there's been some hubbub about Jonah Hill and some texts exchanged with his girlfriend. I've read the entire exchange, and basically the message states, "These are the things that I don't like." And he listed other things: going out surfing with boys, just boys. Basically hanging out in clubs with women of low character that um, that you probably shouldn't be hanging around and that are promiscuous and whatnot. And then there was a couple of other things, and I don't remember what they were. But basically, um, he brought up that he had issues with some of her behavior. Now, he tells her that I'm not expecting you to change. I'm not expecting you to do anything about it. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I'm just giving you a choice. He's trying to set boundaries. Jonah's probably at the point where he is trying to. He's older now, and I'm betting money Jonah wants a real wife, and wants a partner, and wants somebody to actually go through this shit with. And the young party girl is not his type. He's realized it. They're in the relationship. He basically said, "You can make a choice. If you don't want to do these, if you want to do these things, that's fine. I wish you the best, and I hope you have everything you want. I just know that I can't be with you." And everybody's losing it, trying to say that he's controlling. He is some type of this is abuse. Ladies, a man standing up for himself isn't abuse. Okay. The problem is everybody. A man gets up, he goes to work, and that's what he does, and he pays his bills, and it's expected. Nobody gives a rat's ass. When a woman gets up and goes to work and pays her bills, she's supposed to be like some independent woman. She's a fucking boss. No, you're not a boss. You're just a regular ass adult. That's what adults do.
Mm-hmm.
They get up, they go to work, they handle their shit, they pay their bills, they handle the issues that come across their life. You can't. I just. We're told that we need to feel. We're told we need to communicate, and then when we communicate, we're accused of being abusive and controlling. At no
I
point did he
shared.
say you need to stop this. You need to stop this. If you read it, it's basically I've noticed some issues, and there's a few things I have issue with. He listed them, and all of the statements were I statements. I need this. I can't be that. The
And if
only
you
thing
don't
he
want to
did,
do this, I
right,
may not
and
be
if
the
you
partner
don't
for
want to
you.
do that, then I can't be a part of it. The decision was then I can't be a part of it. Not you have to go, not you need to change. This is what I feel. You can make a decision as an adult. If you don't want to change that stuff, then you don't.
What do we got coming up
Yeah,
here on the screen?
that's one of the texts. I'm trying to find one that's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Go into that
But
page.
basically, if you,
Go into that tab and blow the whole page up.
yeah. There you go. Surfing with men. Boundaries is one. Boundaries inappropriate friendships with men. Boundless relationships with men. To post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit. To post sexual pictures. Friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. So, as you already said, Herm, this isn't him telling her it's you do this or else. This is the problem I see. We're both adults here. Giving how I think our relationship should be, and nowhere in there is he dictating her behavior. He's pointing out her behavior. He's 39 years old. He wants to grow up. He wants to have a family, and he spent his career defending himself for being a bigger guy. I watch interviews with him from years ago, where he's put on the spot 90% of the time saying, "Oh, what's it like to be the fat funny guy?" And he gets upset. If you haven't watched the documentary,
why is that the only angle everybody comes at me from? Like, why is that?
And that's exactly what he says. It's to the T. Why are we fixated on how I look? What about what I do? And there's a documentary that he made that I suggest anybody watch.
No, it was good. It was good. After he lost weight and whatnot, it was great.
Yeah. And notwithstanding, the media isn't even bringing attention to that documentary, which paints him in a completely positive light. Because he's a very self-reflective person and wants to do good on himself. He's had some serious depression issues and mental instability in his life. He's a fragile guy. Mm-hmm. And he's doing what's best for himself.
Right.
He's setting
and
boundaries.
It goes back to a meme I like to.
Healthy relationship. At any healthy relationship, if your wife, partner, spouse, boyfriend, whatever type of relationship you're in, you have to have boundaries.
Yep, it goes back to a meme I like to share at least once a year. Okay, I'm sorry. Once a year, I share the meme. It's the man and the woman sitting on the couch, and she goes, "Here's the list of things that you need to change if you want to be with me." And he retorts, "Okay, well, I'm going to make that same list." And she goes, "If you can't accept me for who I am, then you shouldn't be here." That's the double standard. That's where Herm, however many months or a year ago, came up with the fuck men thing, which is true. This is a real thing.
Yeah,
I don't know who told.
It's
men ain't shit. In a okay. I think. Uh-oh. Here we are. Are we good? Herm?
Yeah, we're good.
I think we're good. We're good.
All right. It goes back to that bullshit thing I hear all the time. And you guys as married men, I'm going to say this, and then we'll start with Herm and go to Lynch, because I want to know if I'm right or if the idiot feminazis are right. It shouldn't be happy wife, happy life. It should be happy spouse, happy house. Because if you're both not happy, ain't nobody happy. And don't think for 1 minute, ladies, that it's our job to forget everything we've learned or know intrinsically and instinctively about being a man, a provider, a protector, somebody that, yes, will dote on you, so long as, you know what, that is reciprocated in one way, shape, or form. Herm, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we are supposed to pay all the bills and do all that, and the women are still holding us to a classic male standard. All right, they're still holding us to traditional values. All right, they want us to make $90K, $200K a year, but it's still a traditional value. The man is supposed to do his thing and the money and protect and provide and all of that. The problem is that that social media and hoflation has not coincided with that on the women's end. Women complain about not being able to find a good man, and they can find a good man. The problem is finding a man that is going to tolerate your bullshit, because we're not about that no more.
Well, the problem is they're looking for a unicorn when they're looking for a man. I don't know if you ever seen what the hell's the name of the it's a podcast where the guy interviews women, and I'm a 10. He's like, no, you're hardly a 10.
No,
you're hardly a 10. You're like a Jew at City 5.
That's like that big bitch that's on that one podcast says, if
that's
you're
the
not
podcast.
Over...
That's the podcast I'm talking about.
And that big bitch said, if you're not over 6 feet, I'm not going to date you. I have never been more thankful to be 5'10" in the history of my life.
I'm
I dodged a but you're 5'13" and a half.
I'm 5'14". Done.
But you have these women who claim they don't need a man, but the man they want is unobtainable. They want over 6 foot, 6-figure salary, and want to be waited on hand and foot. But they want to be treated as an equal partner. I'm sorry. Oh, there's no equity there. There's no equity.
They want a quality man.
Right, but they're not going to sacrifice. They're not going to make any sacrifices for that.
Here's the deal: they want a quality man, but they are not holding the attributes that a man wants in a wife.
Exactly.
That he thinks is a quality woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Because most men.
You ask the girls, what do you bring to the table, and she goes,
I can get that anywhere.
That's not enough.
No, because if that's what I'm investing in, then you have to not be mad when you get a little old and I trade up to a newer model.
Because you're bringing this.
Your looks are going to fade. Your looks will fade. Okay. Your looks
stays the same.
All right. I've said this for my entire life. Okay. The only purpose of attraction is for the initial in a relationship. Okay.
It's the initial spark.
There has to be some sort of semi-attraction. All right. And and it's all based on sex, but biologically inside. All right. Whatever we find attractive, that's what we find attractive. But that's what makes us go, let's consider that one. And then you go through the process. If that's not the one, just because it's pretty, it's still not the right one.
And that's what I talk about equity. They're looking for a guy who's an Adonis with a big dick and a lot of money. Okay, that only gets you.
It's never gotten any smaller, so we're still okay. But
yeah, none of those qualities is going to be a lasting relationship, because just like you said, conversely, as you get older as a man, your looks change. She's going to want to trade up because all she brings to the table is this. Well, fuck you. If you want a serious relationship, you have to bring the same. It has to be basically tit for tat, for lack of a better phrase. What I find attractive in a woman is different than what Herm finds attractive. Is different from what Burns finds attractive. It's different. Everybody is attracted to something different in a female.
And the difference.
But if I were to put my wife up against what society deems a 10, she's going to lose in that scale of 1 to 10. She's not going to be anywhere near a 10. She's a 10 in my eyes, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, but if we judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, we never get. You know what I mean? Like
that's exactly my point.
On its ability to climb a tree, then you never actually judge the fish correctly. And that's the point.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Is that you can't. If looks are the only thing you're looking for, you're not looking for a husband. You're looking for a fuck toy, and to get pounded for a couple months and move on to the next.
They say they're looking for a husband, but the problem is that men and women, of course, we're different. But men think about money a little different. When we're young, we're told that we need to get a good job so that we can get a good woman and we can take care of our house.
We can provide for them.
All right, we could provide for them. So men start out trying to earn money for the entire purpose, the sole purpose of becoming a husband and father, because that's
And
part of that,
providing for a
that
family.
ingrained job. Okay, so when a man starts making enough money, he starts thinking, wow, like maybe it's time to marry my girlfriend, maybe it's time we get a house, maybe it's time we or have kids, maybe not all at once, but as those things progress, well, money's a little better. I think let's have a kid. So the better the money, the more you can provide and take care of your family. You can give your wife and your family and your kids the better things that you probably may not have had. And you can do that and you can become successful within yourself to your children and to your
Exactly.
family. The problem
Right.
is men make money so that they can spend it on and I know there's guys out there, playboys, but we're talking about base and a very broad brush here. Men, for the most part, make money so that they can have a family, so they can get married and take care of their family and provide. Women, all right, and to take care of women and children. Women make money right now with the goal of being independent from men, but still only but don't want to do any of the women's jobs. They're not looking for husbands. Okay, they think because they go out and they have a job and they pay their bills, it makes them something special. So they're looking for an extremely high quality, high class man that's way out of their league that they bring nothing to the table. Look, man,
Exactly.
every girls be
All they
talking
bring,
about,
all they bring
I
is
need a man
tits.
that can handle me. Well, let me explain something to you about men. I'm not trying to work 13 motherfucking hours over a 700-degree fucking broiler to come home sweaty, hot, full of soot, fucking tired, and have to handle anything. Okay? I come home because home is my peace. So
Right.
if I'm gonna come home and the minute I walk through the door, I have to worry about handling a situation with you and dealing with you rather than you trying to be my peace, then that's not it,
I want to throw
Well,
another one
right?
out there at you, and I see this in a lot of my friends' relationships. Not you guys, and I'm going to take Derek the Undertaker right out of this because I've never seen it with his. You guys, the three of you, Herm, Lynch, Derek, are married to top-notch women. You guys are all lucky as fuck because you're all ugly as fuck.
High
But
value. They all are high value.
absolutely, none of them are from Wish. Here's one that I see a
Or
lot, even with
Timu.
people I don't know. Walk through a Walmart and see a woman just dressing her man down verbally, up one side and down the other. And if he so much as claps back, oh, you're toxic. Oh, you're gaslighting me. It's as if you want to dorm. If someone comes at me, and I've tried to explain this to people, I've done it with you guys, and you're two of my best friends on earth. I'll do it with anybody. I treat everybody the same. I will listen to whatever you have to say. The minute you question my or you dress me down for shit I didn't do, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back hard. And one or two with you two because that's way back, and it's happened with a couple of different friends. One of us is going to cry, or one of us is going to eat a fist and swallow some teeth, because you don't just get to freely say whatever you want and not let the other person have their moment in the sun. Maybe it's not the person you're dressing down that is toxic. Maybe it is you.
Where are we at?
Burns, where are you?
All right, he's kind of there.
You and I
Ridge,
are fine. It's weird. It's
buddy,
me.
now.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
All right. It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, because I'm not getting a signal that I'm having an internet issue. So
Oh, we got strong signal here in the undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut.
heard. Yeah, I
So
mean,
Lynch, you with me, big man?
So, yeah, I absolutely, and I want to throw this out there. That this is where this comes into play. The women who act like that are pushing feminism back 50 years. Women, hundreds of years, have fought to have the same rights as men, to be treated as equally as men. And then
As
they
well
start
they should.
throwing this. Then they start throwing this. Well, men get paid more. No, men earn more, and here's why. Women, for the most part, have full-time jobs that are paid by the hour, or they're a skill set, nursing, home health aides, you name it. So they make $1 per hour, let's say, dollars per hour. Men may also work dollars per hour, but they're in a highly trained skill, HVAC technician, auto mechanic. They earn more per hour and they work more hours. Women typically work a tight schedule. They work their 40 hours, they go home. Men, for the most part, work 10 to 12-hour days. So at the end of the year, yes, they earn more money. They don't make more money per hour. That's illegal. If I have an HVAC mechanic who's been an HVAC mechanic who's a guy who makes $45 an hour, and you have a woman that has the same experience, they're both going to make $45 an hour. It's how many hours you put in. So don't tell me that you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid enough. You're getting paid what you are, whatever you're worth in the job market. We earn more. We earn more because we work more. Because women's typical role is to be the provider for their children. They're the ones who go home and intercept the bus. They're the ones that go home and grab the kid from the babysitter. Sometimes it's equal, where the guy pitches in just as much. So don't hand me this bullshit that you're not getting paid as much. You're not getting paid enough. If you want me to be the provider for your family, you're going to have to deal with the fact that I make more money in a year from you than you. Flip the script. My wife makes significantly more money than I do. And you know what? I'm okay with that. She's better educated. Every job she's had, except for one, has been a step up in a pay grade. And she works very fucking hard. I'm happy. I do jobs that make me happy, which typically pay less. I'm not going to become a millionaire working at a fucking dog kennel, but I do it because I love it. I'm going to do something that I like rather something that I'm going to despise for more money.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about equal equity and equal share for that type thing here. Don't set your gender back. You have to provide something in return. You have to have equal equity in that relationship. You're going to have a good sense of humor, intelligence, ability to hold a conversation, and the ability to keep up with your mate, with your spouse, or your partner, however you want to fucking phrase it.
Agreed. And the one thing I like to bring up, because it speaks to what you're saying, is there are things that men can do that women cannot do. It's in us. It's ingrained. There are things that women can do that men cannot do. Some of which I am jealous as fuck, because I would love to know what it's like to birth a baby. I don't know. It's always been something in my head. I always wanted to know what it's like to give birth, but I cannot. And a woman cannot inseminate another woman and create a baby. There are just certain things that separate us that I would love to know what it's like to be on the other side, just for that one moment. But Herm said it, and you mentioned it in your dissertation there about the strong, independent woman and what they bring to the table and how it's equal, but equal on her end or whatever. Lynch has been in the room when I've done this to my ex-girlfriend, 2 of them. You're a strong, independent woman until it's time to open the mayonnaise jar. Then what are you doing?
Yeah. You're asking for help. I don't need a man. No, you do need a man.
If you want mayo on that sandwich, you do.
Well, that's what kills me about the women of that type that claim they don't need a man. All right, fine. Don't get married. Don't be in a relationship with a man because you're just wasting your time. If you want to focus on you and you're the sole center of your universe, don't waste any other guy's time on you because you're not going to be able to give what anybody else, you're not going to be able to give 100% back to that person in the relationship because you're so fucking narcissistic and self-centered that all you care about is you. And I've known guys that are like that all they care about is getting laid and where they're going to get their where they're going to shack up next week. But I know women like that too. And guess what? They've stayed single. They did the right thing and stayed single and haven't polluted another person with their poison.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get you get two people like that under the same roof. Oh, that's hellfire. That's a bad combination.
I agree with both of you, especially in my case, since you kindly pointed out a couple weeks ago when we had a man episode that, for whatever reason, I have a shirt that says "Red Flags Only" when it comes to my dating pool. But a lot of that has to do with today's climate.
The ducky agrees.
And thank you, Rubber Ducky. You are the one. You make podcasts lots of fun. You know, you get into this mindset of, you know, again, we go back to the independent woman, or I need a man like a fish needs a bicycle or whatever. Great. See how far you get. If you make it through your life and you don't need no man or whatever, that's fine. Good on you. But don't come crying when, you know, you finally find what you think is the man and he turns out to be just another guy who's going to drop a kid and leave. You get what you get. And you know what? You earned it. I put up things like this all the time. You're not if you're looking for a good man and you come up with these bums, you're not looking in the right place. There are good men out here. It's just I'm ugly. So you have to deal with my heart and my sense of humor and my twisted mind if you want a good man. Ignore this.
You're not
down there.
You're not going to find them at the club on Saturday night.
No, it's up here, man. It's up here.
True, but
I find this just as attractive as this. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got nothing upstairs,
I think that's Lynch's way of saying he wants me to take off my shirt.
I think so.
No, God, no. Fuck you, no.
If you're all into the melted ice cream, I'm your man, baby. Speaking of melted ice cream, you know, women, if you want to act like you are a Victoria's Secret model, you know, and you look like a jar of fluff, it's not going to work. Work with what you have. Like Lynch just said, sexy isn't all about the body. Sexy is about the mind, too, and the attitude.
I'm all about body positive and being comfortable in your own skin. There's only so much skin I want to see at Walmart. I'm just saying. I mean, we were at the Ed Sheeran show a couple weeks ago, and there was a larger girl wearing a fishnet outfit that you could see directly through. And in both directions, there's a whole lot to unpack.
Looking like somebody wrapped a butterball turkey breast roast.
I got one better for you.
She got
Emma
a butt in the front and a butt in the back.
She had a butt so big you could see it from the front. Probably had one of those things that Emma had when she was a kid. It was wrapped in like a fishnet. When you squeezed it, everything popped out. Dude, and when you let it go, it all went back in again.
She was wearing a thong. She was wearing a thong, and the fupa was as big as her ass.
How is Angela, by the way?
Looking like a butterball turkey roast.
That was a good show, though. I gotta say, that was a really good show.
I'm not a big fan, but I'm glad you had fun. It sounds like if that woman was wearing heels, she'd have struck oil.
Ooh.
She walked across to get a beer.
She was short.
Doesn't matter. She walked across the field to get a beer, and Ed Sheeran skipped.
John Mayer's in the dressing room like, is that a fucking earthquake?
Yeah, something going on here.
Gojira!
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Oh, we could do an entire episode on feminism. I swear to God.
Where do these Japanese people come from?
Oh, shit. Hey, there was that one movie where Godzilla came to New York and laid eggs in Madison Square Garden. It could happen again.
That movie sucked so hard.
Yeah, it did, but it was a movie.
That was a big.
Had a good soundtrack, though. Had a great soundtrack.
It did have a kick-ass soundtrack.
Yeah, but the movie sucked. The most important thing in a Godzilla movie is the Godzilla sound.
Exactly.
Okay, and they fucked that up. All right, and literally everybody was like, "Movie was great, sucked because of the Godzilla sound." So
They
when they
made it
came
sound
out,
like
so when Marvel or whoever the studio is, Paramount, that came out with all the new ones, King Kong and whatnot, they did it. They went, the sound is dead on, and
the
I'll
one
watch that shit all day long on a
the
loop.
one from
Skull
the
Island.
'96 movie.
King Kong.
What's that?
Skull Island was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was good. Whoever did the '96 movie made the Godzilla sound like squealing tires.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was bad, and it just I mean, they fixed that with the new one.
It kind of sounded like a broken tea kettle.
You know what I'm in the mood for, and I hope you guys are too, and it's not the hat. Don't think we're going back to the hat. We haven't had a list episode in a while.
No, we haven't.
People seem to like the list.
I liked my idea. I don't know how
Which
you guys
was?
thought about it. The two
I'm
truths
trying to
and a
remember.
lie.
That was two truths and a lie.
Oh, I'd have to work on that because
That would be that would be a contained bit, not a whole episode. That would be just a little like
Okay.
we do that once in a while.
Herm and I can sell you on a lie and you'll believe it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could too.
Remember that time in Japan?
Remember-
I remember. 72 Olympics.
That's right. Took silver. Took silver in the clean and jerk.
Fuck yeah,
72.
dude. 72 fucking Olympics, bro.
72 Winter Olympics, the Guatemalan downhill team.
That's right.
Well, yeah, it was a year before I was born. 72 Olympics. Yeah, I remember
That's
that.
right. That's right.
72 uphill.
Yeah.
They put a sock on my head and handed me a gun and said, "Just go to that hotel. Have a good
Just
time."
go to that hotel. We were all right.
Sarajevo? What?
We can definitely. I like two truths and a lie. I'd have to come up with something that. Dude, you guys are my closest friends. You guys are two of my closest friends in the world.
Yeah,
I don't know what I
you
could
guys
do.
know. You guys know most of the stories that sound like they're a fucking lie that are true. So I got to dig
Right.
deep for something that really, really, really.
You got to go back in the way back machine.
That's right.
Like that one time in college.
Ooh. Ooh, we told each other we'd never talk about that again.
I know,
You know-
but now I'm gonna have to because that's how this is going.
You know what trend I like that's on Facebook is the
Titties.
tell me how you met me, but it's a lie.
Oh, I sent you.
I-
You made a good answer on mine. That was
I
good.
love those.
Let me read a couple that I did on some other people's since we're here, because creativity is one of the things I pride myself on. So I'm not going to tell you whose page they were, but these are three of my favorite answers. So there I was, riding with a ticket I won on a card game on the RMS Titanic. I met many wonderful people on that journey, but none like you. You specifically asked me to draw you like one of my French girls. The
I
rest,
read
as
that
they
one.
say, was history. Here's the next one. There I was, on trial in Turkey for a drug charge that I wasn't guilty of. The corrupt judge sentenced me to hard labor in a maximum security Turkish prison. They stripped me naked and escorted me to my cell. Once inside the cell, I heard a small knock on my bars from the cell next door. Here, kid, take these boxers. You saved my ass that day. I'll never forget you. My favorite one,
Midnight Express.
you guys both know my ex-girlfriend Mary from way back.
Yeah.
She's the only one I'm going to tell you. This was on her page. Lie about how you met me. And my answer was, I don't remember shit after the chloroform.
Is this
So
correct? So
I
funny?
gotta give credit to everybody who commented on that on mine. There were some really, really good ones. My friend Angela Wood from Massachusetts with the circus monkey thing was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
But yeah, that's a good one. I could certainly. I think the story of how I met Herm would definitely be better than any lie I could ever tell. Because we thought he ratted on us, and we'll leave that story where it sits.
We'll save it.
Don't
Let's
waste
save that.
this stuff.
Let's save that for another day.
Right, and meeting Lynch was just. Are you gonna die?
No.
Please don't die. The
Please
meeting
don't
Lynch
die.
was as simple as going to a party at a friend's house and saying, "This is Lynch, this is Burns," both named Chris. So I don't think we've ever really called each other Chris except on camera. And yeah,
So-
and then seeing each other at work 3 days later, going, "I didn't know you worked here. I didn't know you worked here."
You worked here. Nobody calls me by my first name. Nobody at work. That presently or in the past, it's always, hey, Lynch. It's like I don't have a first name. Which I'm
It
okay
depends
with, I
on
don't
who.
care.
Yeah, it depends on who it is with me. If you grew up with me, from like I don't know birth till about mid '90s, since there were 17 Chris's everywhere, I was always Burns or Burnsy. Um, then finally I got my name back, and then they started calling me by my nickname. You know, still to this day, I run into somebody who still will call me Jabroni after what 25 years. Um, yeah, I don't know. It depends on the what room I'm in, what they call me.
Well, depends on what circle you're pulling
Yeah.
from. The girls at work, not currently, they do, hey Chris, or Mr. Lynch. Don't call me Mr.
Ooh,
Don't call me
no, that's
mister.
dad. That's dad.
Don't call me Mr. I work for a living. And I'm not famous. I'm not giving a deposition.
Now, Mike has had about 600 nicknames over the years. Herm, Big Herm, Boombotch. Christ, help me
Yep.
out here. Am I missing
Yeah,
some?
I was tiny,
Tiny?
for a while.
Yo, Matumbo.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
What the hell are you drinking in there?
Pepsi.
Oh, is that one of them fangled 1 liters?
Yep. $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. Can't beat it.
No shit.
Lasts me 2 days, that thing.
That lasts me about an hour.
Yeah, well, you know,
I gotta cut down. I gotta cut down on the soda. That's why I've been doing seltzers.
there you go.
This stuff's pretty good.
Good
This stuff's
stuff,
pretty good.
too.
Spindrift?
Is that the Michael Bublé?
No, this is Spindrift. Megan got it at the Costco.
Oh, so she doesn't love you
got-
enough to
she
get you
got-
the Stop and Shop brand.
At the
No,
top.
it's an actual brand, Spindrift, but you get
Okay.
like 1,000 of them. You get like 1,000 of them for $5.
Damn.
All right.
You see how he did that,
Costco.
though? He went full New England. He went to the Costco.
Yeah,
The Costco.
Acme. The Costco. I went to the Walmart.
I got to go to the Walmarts. Where are you at this week? I went to the Target.
I went to the Target.
Well, when
and
we were
then-
kids, it was never just Bradley's. It was the Bradley's or the Caldor.
Right. Oh, no. It was
Oh
not,
no,
not
in my
Caldor.
house,
They
it
just
was
do an S on
Caldor.
the end.
It was
Caldor.
Bradley's. It was Caldor's.
Caldors.
Zares,
Well, see,
which there was no S. Go
No,
to
there was no
Zares.
S. We're going to Zares.
And me being I was a bright
We're
kid,
going to,
but
we're going to Penny's.
yeah,
Yeah.
me being a bright kid,
We're going
although
to Robux.
didn't find out I was dyslexic until I was in my 20s. Because dyslexia wasn't a thing back then. Really, it was a thing, but it was never really diagnosed. How I went through my entire childhood not being backhand for saying Ames's.
Ames's.
Oh, my grandmother on my mother's side, it was Desairs, Ames's, the Two Guyses.
Two guys.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, on my other side of the family, like from Massachusetts, it was
Oh,
always and it
Mhm.
was plural. The
Yeah.
Caldors. We're going to the Stop and Shops.
Wow.
There's only one. Well, back then there was only one. Then they had the two.
Damn.
They had the Super Stop and Shop, and then the little Stop and Shop next to the old folks' place.
Yes.
I was always one of the things I hated the most, and you guys probably know somebody who said this in your lifetime. I worked for a spell at Blockbuster Video. There's no S. When they cut off video and they said, we're on a Blockbusters. No,
Yeah.
it's one. It's Blockbuster.
No, it's just Blockbuster. We're going to Blockbuster.
Blockbuster Video.
Yes.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
difference. Blockbuster
Wall-
Video.
Wallbaums, which is pluralized.
Hey,
Wallbaums.
Hey,
I know.
worked there.
I know.
I was my first job. Well, first corporate job.
Taxable
boy,
paying.
Making $5 an hour or $4
Not
an hour.
not muling yayo across state lines.
Well, not gutting fish on a fishing boat, or slinging horse shit at a horse farm, paid cash under the table.
Nothing wrong with that. The government can't get you.
Exactly.
Oh,
My first
all
jobs
right.
were cash under the table.
Mark,
That's
we
what
hurry
I'm-
this up. I got half a pound of cocaine in my ass. Let's go.
All right, Hunter.
It's starting to slide out from the sweat.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. We'll have a topic. We will promote it. I will be in a very precarious position coming back from New Hampshire the day before, recording the show, and then going to Vermont to pick up my kid off an airplane the day after. So if anybody's a Speedway fan, I may not be there next Wednesday. I'm trying to work that out. I'm trying to work that out.
Whoa.
We can work it out.
Uh-huh.
That's
So-
something we could talk about one day. It's like all the shit that was around when we were kids that just don't exist anymore.
You mean
There's
like
so much
manners,
stuff.
common sense?
I was just going to say common sense, common courtesy,
I was talking retail, but we can go there too.
Okay.
cursive. I mean,
Dude, I dared one of the kids at work to write their name in cursive. They couldn't.
yo, that's a TikTok challenge now. Write your name without removing the pen from the paper. And I was like,
you can't do it.
congratulations, bitch! You just discovered fucking cursive.
Cursive.
No wonder kids have so much
We
problem
knew how to
interpreting.
do that. We knew how to do that in the 3rd grade.
No
And if
wonder
you did a
people
book-
are having. Go ahead, Mitch.
If you did a book report and it wasn't in cursive, you got a fucking D on that paper.
You got it was me. The best you could get was a B right off the rip.
It's no wonder that so many people don't understand what the Constitution says because it's written in fucking cursive.
For real.
Or they can't tell time on a real clock.
Well, they can't if they look. They pulled cursive out of the school system because if the children don't know how to read the Constitution and they don't know how to read all the amendments, then they can't fight for their rights.
They don't have any fucking rights. Not when I get elected president.
Roll that one around and see how it tastes this week, and let me know what you think. That's why cursive's not there. They don't want the people to know how to read the rights they've been granted.
I had to teach a kid that I work with that if a third of a cup, if you do it 4 times, is a cup and a third.
Yeah, 4/3, dipshit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 3
That's
thirds.
why
What's the new math? Mental retardation.
Basically, yes. Now that we
Counts to
thoroughly
21.
offended,
Now that we've thoroughly offended a bunch of fucking groups, we're gonna say goodbye and hope maybe you're back next week.
you better be.
Hey, and if you think of somebody that we haven't offended, drop us a line. We'll make sure that
Please.
happens next week. My epilepsy's kicking in.
Doesn't make sense if you're not watching on YouTube, kids. Herm, do you still have Hunter Biden's number? I could use a bump.
Yeah, I got him right here, listed under Big Sniff.
Thank you.